Guys, Blu-ray editions, let's go. My daddy was the family baseman. My mama was an engineer. And I was born one dark gray morn with music coming in my ear, in my ear. They call me baby driver, and once upon a pair of wheels I hit the road and I'm gone. What's my number? I wonder how your engines feel. Baby Driver. This is directed by Edgar Wright, one of my favorite directors working today. I absolutely love this film. There are some real scene-stealing performances, especially by Jamie Foxx and Jon Hamm. Jamie Foxx is like one of the main antagonists of this movie, and he just oozes evil. Like, I love Jamie Foxx in this movie, and Jon Hamm as well. He doesn't get much screen time in the first or second act of the movie, but in the third act, he is an antagonist, and he is just evil, and I love his performance. And that song I was singing, I'm sorry you had to hear that. That was it was Baby Driver by Simon and Garfunkel, and I'm so happy that they actually put that song in here. And there are actually a few songs in this movie that I really like. Brighton Rock by Queen, Radar Love by Golden Earring, and Deborah by T-Rex. Yeah, Baby Driver has an awesome soundtrack and some really well-directed action scenes. Now that I have Baby Driver, I have all the Edgar Wright movies. All the Infinity Stones. Next up is You're the Best Around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. Okay, I'm gonna stop singing before this turns into a musical. I'm sorry you had to hear me sing at all. I love The Karate Kid. It has a certain light feeling to it that just makes it fun to watch. And I can't believe how good of a performance Pat Morita gave as Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi is just such a sweet, likable character, and yet he's so cool at the same time. And I went through the trials of watching almost every Karate Kid movie, with a few exceptions, all the way up to Cobra Kai. I watched The Karate Kid. It got worse from there when I watched The Karate Kid 2. It got worse from there when I watched The Karate Kid 3. It got worse from there when I watched the one with Jaden Smith where he doesn't even do karate. He does kung fu. Like, what? It's called The Karate Kid. Do karate, not kung fu. And then I didn't watch the next Karate Kid because my cousin gratefully told me I shouldn't watch it. I'm very happy she told me that because I probably would have, and I can guarantee I would have hated it. So yeah, The Karate Kid, and I would recommend checking out Cobra Kai on Netflix. It's a really good show. It's terribly written. It has some okay dialogue, but it has interesting characters and really, really well-directed fights. So anyways, next on is Bill and Ted. Oh, never mind, not Bill and Ted. Parasite, my very real copy of Parasite. Why do I have it on a sticky note, you ask? Well, it's an interesting story that all dates back to about a couple weeks ago. I let some people borrow this. I lent it to someone, and so I don't have it at the moment. I don't have Parasite at the moment, but I have this sticky note, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm not going to say too much about this movie because I actually have a review up on my channel. I would recommend checking it out, and don't worry, I don't spoil anything. But I'm not allowed to watch this movie anymore. I'm not going to exactly get into why because I kind of like to keep this channel PG to PG-13. So instead, here's what I'll say. I'm not allowed to watch this movie anymore because of an icky, yucky, naughty scene involving a married couple while they're... Anyways, I think I said enough and implied enough. I could hear my viewers already saying, we get it. So next up, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the placeholder, or the holder for the sticky note of Parasite. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, I love Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I only say that one because I hate Bogus Journey. Excellent Adventure, it's so much fun. It's another movie that's just kind of easy to watch. Like, you don't have to pay much attention. Like, you can just turn your brain off. And you might think that's bad for some movies, like when it doesn't require any critical thinking. And it is for some, like The Expendables. But this movie's trying to be a comedy, and because it like becomes almost nonsensical in a way, I like it. And I like the idea of like these two guys just partying throughout history, meeting all these people. But then you got the second movie. Rather than go through history to pass a history report, instead, they're living on their own, they get killed by robot versions of them, then they go to hell, then heaven, pick up an alien, and death on the way. George Carlin turns out to be a woman at one point, and what is Bogus Journey? Don't watch this movie. There's this alien creature in there called Station, and it's like these two small little runty aliens that like really don't deserve to be in the movie at all. All they do is go Station, or sometimes Station, and it's so annoying. Like, here's a line that they actually said to Station in the movie: "Good job, Station. Whoa, and you have an excellent alien butt." Like, never put that in any movie I will ever watch. You know why? Because that takes it out that I will watch it. I will not watch any movie. If I hear anything like that in a movie I'm watching, we're not watching it anymore ever again. It's going in the trash, and I'm gonna light the trash can on fire. I've had to buy several new trash cans. But yeah, if Bogus Journey just stopped existing, I really wouldn't lose any sleep over it. But Excellent Adventure is such a fun movie. Next up is Wes Anderson's The Darjeeling Limited. Wes Anderson is my favorite director of all time. I love his idiosyncratic directing style and cinematography. Except this movie, in a way, it kind of disappointed me. They cut off a lot of storylines really fast. Like, it's supposed to take place on this train, the Darjeeling Limited. Except I would have preferred it kept taking place on this train, because not even halfway through the movie, they get kicked off. And on the train, you got all these great storylines going. Like, what's his name? Jason Schwartzman's character, he broke up with his girlfriend, played by Natalie Portman. And, like, on the train, he's kind of desperate and just, ends up dating a stewardess on there. And I kind of wish they kept it that way, because I wanted to see how that romance went. And I kind of wanted to see the tension that built up in between these brothers on the train. And also, Angelica Houston is in this movie, and they make a big deal out of going to see her, and she instantly leaves. I don't know why. It's so confusing. But one thing I gotta admit the Darjeeling Limited is good for, I love the soundtrack and the metaphors used in this movie. I'm not gonna explain the metaphors, because that's a kind of spoilery aspect. But then you got the soundtrack. There are 3 Kink songs on there. This Time Tomorrow, Strangers, and Power Man. Those are my 3 favorite Kink songs of all time from my favorite Kinks album of all time. Lola versus Power Man and The Money Go Round, Part 1. And then also you have Les Champs-Élysées by Joe Dassin, or Dassin, I'm not sure. And so I just really like the Darjeeling Limited soundtrack. Next up is Kung Fu Hustle. What's the matter? You've never seen a free ice cream before? It's such a fake forced laugh in that scene, and I love it. This movie is the funniest movie I've seen in my life. This movie just cracks me up. It's so random. Like, there's a scene where he threatens to fight members of a village. He's like, anyone who wants to die, step forward. And then everyone steps forward. And then, like, everyone he threatens to fight is, like, super strong. One, like, punches him so he, like, bleeds out of his mouth. And then, like, there's this ripped kid. I bet you don't understand anything I'm talking about if you haven't seen the movie. So do me a favor. After you watch this video, I think Kung Fu Hustle is on Netflix. Please go watch it. Yeah, Kung Fu Hustle is just a fun comedy. Next up, you got The Matrix. This is a Keanu Reeves movie. And this is one of the earliest movies where he's playing an actual action hero rather than Ted Theodore Logan or a Ted Theodore Logan type. Like in Point Break, he plays a surfer, or he plays a cop who also surfs. And yeah, I'm not sure about that though, because I haven't seen Point Break, because I'm weird. But this is the best Keanu Reeves movie ever. Argue all you want about John Wick. John Wick is a good movie, but I will die on this hill explaining to you why The Matrix is 1,000 times better. I don't know why I clapped. But this is such a fun, exciting movie, and it's so imaginative. I like the imaginative feel to it, and it's like, well, at one point, The Matrix was my favorite movie of all time. It still remains one of my favorite action movies. So next up is A Beautiful Mind. You will not believe how little I can actually talk about this movie without getting into spoilers. So all I'm gonna say is, this is the best Russell Crowe movie. Maybe it is, or maybe Gladiator is. I think Gladiator is a better movie, but A Beautiful Mind has a better Russell Crowe performance, and so I like A Beautiful Mind better. Next up is the third Bill and Ted movie. I now have the complete collection. All three of these movies aren't for everyone, but I think this is a solid sequel. Or what do you call it when it's the third movie? It's not a sequel. Is it a trequel? I'm not sure. Comment down below, please, because I'm gonna lose my mind if I don't find out. Yeah, this is a solid movie, though. I like the, idea of, they're grown up, but they still kind of remain the same Bill and Ted we knew from 30 years ago. And, what I really like is, I like how this combines the fun elements of the first and second film, although the only fun element of the second film was death. And when I say death, I mean, like, the Grim Reaper. And so, he was kind of funny. I liked him a lot in this movie. And, yeah, these movies aren't for everyone, but this is the only movie where you can see Mozart and Jimi Hendrix jam together, and it's so exciting. And also, you see Louis Armstrong in here. Not the actual Louis Armstrong, because I believe he's dead now. I'm not sure. I'm not. Yeah, he's probably dead. But, yeah, it's a good movie. And, one character I've always kind of liked throughout the Bill and Ted movies is Missy, who starts out as Bill's stepmom, and then in the second movie, he divorces Bill's dad and marries Ted's dad. And then in the third movie, he divorces Ted's dad and marries Ted's little brother Deacon. And I just like tracking that storyline throughout the movies, because it's just so funny how many people Missy marries, and it's just funny. And finally is Jojo Rabbit. Wow, I did not expect this movie to be what it is. I kind of expected a lot different from this movie. I didn't expect it to be as heartwarming. I didn't expect it to be as funny. And I definitely didn't expect it to not be in bad. I expected a lot of people to get offended at this, because this movie is all about Nazis and focuses on Nazis and makes Hitler a little bit less likable, except towards the end when they lose World War II. That's not a spoiler, right? Like, it's common knowledge that the Nazis did not win World War II. But I like this movie a lot. My favorite performance is Sam Rockwell as Captain Klenzendorf. And, like, a long time ago, I ended up, like, having this conversation about this movie, and I did not expect to get into the more interesting parts of the interesting messages to this movie and themes and motifs. I just kind of expected Jojo Rabbit to be one of those disposable comedies, and it ended up being so much more. It's one of my favorite comedies to this day. Alright, on to Blu-ray of the month. First up is Baby Driver on 4K. There's a very nice look to this movie, and there's a very good amount of stylized cinematography. Like, there are very vibrant colors to this movie, and so that's why I nominated Baby Driver. The colors really pop on this one, on this copy, or on this 4K disc. Next up is my very real copy of Parasite. I think this is just a really good Blu-ray. This movie already has beautiful cinematography alone, and so that's kind of why I nominated Parasite. Next up, I feel like if you saw this at all, and you know I do Blu-ray of the month, you would have known I was nominating this, is The Matrix. This movie has some of the best special effects ever. My only problem with it is it has that little green tint on it a little bit too much. Like, I kind of get the green tint that they add to show that they're in the Matrix or on the Nebuchadnezzar, except sometimes it gets a bit too much. Like, it just blends people's hairs together. Like, if you see a close-up of somebody's face, it almost seems like the stubble on their face just turns into, like, just a green mark on their face. Next up is Bill and Ted Face the Music. This movie has the worst CGI I've ever seen since Poltergeist. But I do like some of the cinematography and the non-CGI shots. Like one shot where they're outside of a hospital looks really nice. And yeah, there's some shot, like this one over here. You got Bill and Ted's daughter and Kid Cudi. They're just in a driveway, and it has a very nice cinematography of, like, bright, vibrant colors. And finally is Jojo Rabbit. This movie has very Wes Anderson-esque shots. I definitely noticed that in another Taika Waititi movie as well, The Hunt for the Wilder People. But this movie just, like, goes all out. There's so many Wes Anderson-esque shots in there. It's amazing how a director can have such a unique style that their name almost becomes an adjective or verb. Weird. Or not verb, an adjective or noun. Well, his name was already a noun. And please do a drum roll for the winner. My very real copy of Parasite. My only gripe with this is the cover art. As you can see, it's just yellow and it says Parasite. It's not even centered. Look at that. Like, who made that? Like, who would write that? That looks weird. This Blu-ray has a very weird cover art, but it's overall, all jokes aside, I think this movie has phenomenal cinematography, and there are a lot of really nice shots in here, nice wide shots, stuff like that, and so that's why Parasite won. Alright, that's gonna do it for January Blu-ray editions. Thank you very much for watching these videos. I really appreciate it, and I hope you can stay for my next video, which I hope to get out sorta soon. It all depends on my schedule. But thank you again for watching these videos. Stay safe and watch good movies. Bye!